It's the Red Roof Inn.
Yes.
He keeps it in his merce.
Oh.
Yeah, so you need it for all of those. You need voter ID to get into a fist fight at the Spirit Airlines terminal, but not to elect the leader of the free world.
You know what's funny is these people that refuse the voter ID, and say, I want to do the voter ID. They're the first person at TSA when they go, all right, your ID, thank you, and then stand in front of this, let me take a picture of you.
Yeah, I know.
Let me get your biometrics real quick. Yeah, no problem. I'd love to give you all my data.
I know. It's just, again, I don't even think I should have to go through this, but it's just, they're so paper thin. I'm trying to explore every nook and cranny of this retardation. Here's the next claim. And it's still the same thing, racism. They just sort of, they tell you that voter ID, it's the disenfranchising is what's going to happen or something.
The reason Democrats don't want voter ID
Pause.
is
Pause, son of a pause. I was only made aware of this today.
That her face doesn't match her neck?
There is an extended podcast of The View. In other words, there are some people in this country who have said, I don't have enough of The View in my life. I need the lesser version of The View in a podcast form. And it was given to them.
What's it called?
The View, Behind the Table.
Behind the table. Well, we didn't like the view from the front of the table.
Yeah, you know, someone's like, I want to know, I want to see behind the I want the reverse shot of The View.
Yeah, why don't you turn it around for me?
All right, let's watch. Starting from the top, it's just, I can't believe it. That's a sad state of affairs. Let's go.
the reason Democrats don't want voter ID is because they make it much more difficult for elderly people, people that don't travel, don't have a passport, poor people that don't have cars, don't have driver's licenses. So it's sort of a vestige of, I think, post-slavery laws. Less voter ID laws allows more people to vote. And most democracies do it that way. We're the only ones that really don't do it that way.
What? It almost sounds like she was supporting voter ID at the end there.
No, most democracies do it the wrong way. What?
No, I think that she thinks most democracies don't require photo ID.
Yeah, okay.
I think she doesn't know anything about the world.
Yes, I think that's a good...
I think she doesn't know anything outside of New York City. Nobody else, people don't have cars, they don't have driver's license. What?
Well, I guess let's go with that. So again, I'm just trying to rebut any argument that you make here, but it still all goes back to racism, because here's the truth. Voter ID is common in pretty much all other major countries, and no evidence of disenfranchisement. It's not even an issue. You have voter ID in Switzerland, France, Israel, Mexico, India.
Mexico has voter ID laws?
Mm-hmm.
India has like 1.5 billion people, one of the most technologically advanced countries in the world, Switzerland, and then Israel, and that could really go both ways.
Yeah.
So it'll offend.
I'd be willing to bet they probably have them in Palestine.
Only if you're a terrorist in good standing.
Yeah, well, I mean, once they have your, they'll steal your vote.
Well, that's fine.
It's not like your vote matters, but they're still like, they have to make it seem like it's a legitimate election.
It's to keep the Jews out. They don't want Jews voting in their elections, and so therefore.
This is crazy. They got these poor Punjabis. They're dodging trains to get IDs to vote.
I know.
And you can't even just hop on a train here and go down to the
Not much, man. Appreciate the like. Hope you have a good day and everything. Stay blessed. I'm just making some fish dicks and watching the news.
EMV, get your real ID?
Yeah. But you don't think that somebody from Memphis can head on to their local library? Like, what is happening?
You have to present a birth certificate to play in Little League.
Do you really?
Yeah, so that 19-year-old Dominicans don't take over your 12-year-old.
Because it's happened.
I swear to God, dude.
It's happened.
It's happened. Nobody knows how old Albert Pujols is. Some people say 59. Some people say 80. It's hard to tell.
I thought it was weird. I drove by the local...
Chicken's kind of small. That's our chicken.
My darling,
If you want to pay that.
I'm just hungry.
Yeah, you just want a piece of chicken? Oh, this isn't a very big piece of chicken. I'm not sure to fill you.
I'll take it.
Are you sure it's going to be gone?
That's alright. You think it'll burn me?
Maybe. It's just on the grill.
You got a napkin?
Dude, what is this shit?
Feel I saw Jose Canseco in a propeller cap.
Still juiced.
Still swinging and missing on teeth.
That's fair.
And then here's the next claim.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Greenland. Guess I'll watch this.
Finance the old way.
What's up, OG? How's it going? Hope you're doing well.
Making our best to share with others is a tradition that connects us all. From the communities and kitchens of fair trade farmers to the meals and memories made at your table. All the best for all. That's wholesome.
Hell yeah, what you up to, Payne? Making some fish dicks and watching some YouTube entertainment.
Big, beautiful piece of ice. It's hard to call it land. It's that big piece of ice.
Jens Frederick Nielsen is the prime.
I guess Trump still wants Greenland.
You see the White House posting Greenland memes on social media. Do you think they should stop?
I think it's insulting. It's outrageous if you think you can buy the Greenlandic people. We are not giving away an inch of our country.
What do you think of the survivors?
You are the worst reporter. No wonder CNN has no ratings because of people like you. I don't think I've ever seen you smile.
No, I'm okay with a bit.
Does she smile?
She smiles all the time.
Oh my
but she
God.
doesn't
You're
smile when
being
she's
such
talking.
a baby.
She doesn't.
Oh, I cracked a joke. Oh! That's the thing that the kids call aura, right?
The kids do.
When America sneezes, the whole world catches a cold, or so the saying goes. That old adage is about the economy, but in the second Trump presidency, it applies equally to almost everything else.
the kids do it.
Fallout from the Epstein files is currently rippling across the globe. Norway's crown princess has been humbled by her flirty exchanges with the paedophile. The former
Flirty
Prince Andrew has been turfed out of his royal mansion and faces calls to testify in the United
What?
States. The sordid dealings of
I guess apparently you can't even go live on X now unless you're premium. I don't remember that. I went on live not that long ago. That's weird. Since when do you have to pay to go live on X? Pokemon cards, what paper is it? It's supposed to be kept, but it runs
X officially moved
page,
live
so there's
streaming
this
behind a
button,
paywall on
cards.
July 14th, 2020.
I've never, yeah, I've seen those, but I've never pulled any or seen them in like real life or anything. Bro, what are they talking about? I live streamed on X like a month or two ago, so it wasn't in July.
That makes sense. While the policy was officially announced in July 2024, the enforcement has been inconsistent across different regions and account types. Here is the breakdown of why you likely still had access. Phased rollout X often rolls out these restrictions in stages, while third-party encoders, like OBS or StreamYard, were cut off early. The native...
That's pretty cool. Is it from a recent pack, or is it like a old pack, old cards?
De Mandelson, accused of taking cash from Epstein
Illustrator,
and feeding him government
for a
secrets,
female
first
character
cost him his job as US
from
ambassador and could now trigger...
Who, me? A female name? Rapunzel. Amber. Agatha. Fucking... I'm not, you know... I would plug it, I would ask AI or something and then go through like a list of female names and find out the one you want.
A national inquiry. Today, the Polish Prime Minister said it's likely that Epstein was, as many apparent conspiracy theorists have long maintained, operating as a foreign spy.
Okay. That's kind of cool. Yeah, people love shit like that. Any type of error card or printing error, people love that.
Not for Israel, in his view, but for Russia. In the US, Bill and Hillary Clinton have allegedly agreed to testify before Congress in a televised hearing which could rival the ratings of the Super Bowl. And we'll dive into all the latest with our panel very shortly. We'll begin with another American sneeze, which left the rest of the world shaking and trembling.
Big, beautiful piece of ice. It's hard to call it land. It's that big piece of ice. But we saved Greenland and successfully prevented our enemies from gaining a foothold in our hemisphere. So we did it for ourselves also. And then after the war, which we won it big. Without us, Right now, you'd all be speaking German and a little Japanese, perhaps. After the war, we gave Greenland back to Denmark. How stupid were we to do that?
Jens Frederik Nielsen is the Prime Minister of that big, beautiful piece of ice, better known as Greenland, and he joins me now. Prime Minister, thank you very much indeed for joining me.
Thank you for being here.
First of all, when you hear the President of the United States...
Well, back in the day, like, originally, like, when I originally collected Pokemon, I had cool stuff, like, from, like, the original base set and jungle and, you know. So, yeah, back in the day, I had a bunch of cool stuff, but unfortunately, I lost my childhood card collection. And I didn't start collecting until, like, 2022. And I haven't really pulled anything that great, honestly. I don't really buy packs that often, though. So I bought some packs and I never pulled anything great. And then I started just buying singles, so that's what I'm doing now.
Describing...
Working on my Mewtwo collection and some Snorlaxes.
Your country as a big, beautiful piece of ice. How does that make you feel?
Of course, that's unfortunate. For us, it's not only a piece of ice. He also said you can hardly call it land, right? We live here in Greenland and have been doing for many, many years. It's a beautiful, beautiful country with a very proud civilization, proud people. We love our country. We love our way of life. So of course that's unfortunate.
A lot has happened in relation to Greenland in terms of the noise around the debate about the future of the country. You warned on Monday that Donald Trump has not let go of his dream to one day own Greenland, in other words, America take ownership, and is still exploring ways to take control of the Arctic island. Why do you believe...
What's up, Zen? Like monk? Honestly, it's nothing really collecting. Everybody just wants to charge full price. Yeah, I know. Like pretty much the scalpers ruined Pokemon pretty much. And I've never been into Pokemon for like the price of everything. I've always just been in it for like collecting certain artworks that I like and all that. So, but yeah, scalpers and just like, yeah, a lot of people ruin the hobby. You stink, Andy. What's you up to though?
Leave that. What do you think is really going on here with Donald Trump?
First of all, I think we all agree on we need to do more in a security manner in our region in Greenland, and we are a very important puzzle in that part. And that's why we have had a defense agreement with the United States for 80 years, and had a great relationship and very good partnership. The way I said it is because, yes, in his speech from Davos that you just showed, he said he wouldn't use
scalpers and all the people who are like they're into Pokemon just for the money. So like, you know, the whole, yeah, that's the part that's ruined the hobby. Resellers, yeah, there's a lot of, yeah. And I think PSA was part of ruining the hobby too, because the whole grading cards thing is what fucks up the market, in my opinion. They ruin sneakers too. Yeah, true. Yeah, I hate when they drop sneakers and then they drop like limited sneakers. So it's like, you know, if you don't get it, if you don't buy that shit like the first day, you can never get that shit like in your size. Fucking because of the sneakers, scalpers, and all that.
Of course, and that's of course good. But the desire to control us, desire to have Greenland as his country.
Actually, I got my shoes right here. I can show you the last cool pair of sneakers I bought. Were like a custom type thing. These are the anything that can make money on. Yeah, true. These are the Reebok Hot Ones collaboration. So this is like milk. And it's got the Hot Ones thing on the back. I don't wear these too much, but they are kind of dirty. And these only cost like, I don't know, like $80, but they're collector's edition, so it might be worth more now, but anyways, I'm not looking to sell them, so.
Has never been pulled back. And
yeah, it was kind of like low key. They didn't like advertise too much.
we have heard it a lot of times. That's why, of course, we cannot rule out there is some sort of desire to control our owners, which is so unfortunate.
Yeah, I like the vibe of them.
Because we are partners and allies and have been for many years.
Trump announced on the 22nd of January, following Davos, that he had reached what he called the framework of a future deal on Greenland with the NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, but he didn't add any meat on the bone of what that deal looked like. Do you have any understanding of what he meant by the framework of a future deal?
Look, now we have a political representative working group going. That's something we have been able to agree on for now. And in that working group, there will be conversations about what each part wants. Of course, from our side, we have said from the get-go, we have been partners for many years, and we have been ready to do more in the partnership we have, in the frame we have. We are willing to do more in terms of security in a NATO frame, in the alliance, also with the United States.
I'll look them up right now.
What sort of? It's not my understanding that they have discussed a deal with the Mark Rutte and NATO. My understanding is that we actually we do agree on we need to do.
One idea I had for my stream was I'm thinking about buying a projector, so I could put the projector like up here, and then I could have it projecting on the wall behind me. So if like, so I could have my TV here, and then I could have the projector here, projector screen here, and then I could pull up some extra different stuff to view to come with a pack of syrup. Oh yeah, I guess I did see those. That's pretty wild. They got so many weird shoes out now.
More in a NATO frame in terms of security. And now the high-level working group we agreed on to establish, they will talk about something that could be a deal in some way. But we have also emphasized and said that we have some really important red lines from our side. So we have to find some way to have a dialogue, political dialogue, in a respectful manner. In respect for the alliance and the partnership we have had for 8 years.
The New York Times had a report citing anonymous officials saying that one idea entailed Denmark ceding sovereignty over small areas of Greenland, where the United States would then build military bases. Have you heard, or did you read that report? Do you have a response to that report?
Yeah, I can say we already have one military basis right in Greenland, and it's under a frame of a defense agreement we have and have had with the United States since 1951. We have never said that nobody can do more in that frame in terms of our defense agreement.
That seems so weird to me. Like, I don't understand why the Oregon Duck shoes are, you know. But yeah, it's weird to me. Do people not grow out their Pokemon phase? Well, I was born in 1991, so That's the prime Pokemon years. And then most of the people in my age range, we all grew up with it. And a lot of us got out of the hobby for a while, but then it made a big comeback when Pokemon Go came out. So the average age of a Pokemon fan now is like 30 or 40. And Pokemon is the #1 grossing franchise in the world right now, so you know the popularity just continues to grow. About to turn 35 in the 21st.
We are ready to talk. We are ready to discuss those kind of things in mutual respect. But in terms of sovereignty of our country, we have a clear red line. In terms of our borders, our integrity as a country, if somebody wants to push on those, we can say that's a clear red line for us. We are not giving away an inch of our country.
So your position is you will never cede any...
Yeah, I would never pay crazy money for a pair of shoes. I would never pay like more than $100 for a pair of shoes. And I don't even think I've ever paid $100 for shoes. Maybe 100.
Sovereignty.
We will never cede any sovereignty. It would also be strange, right, Piers? We live in a world built on principles of democracy, international law, which have been respected, and a big, very important alliance for the world after the Second World War that somewhat, for the most years, has kept the world pretty safe. And when we start to push on those things, it's not only about Greenland anymore, it's about the world order. If we stop respecting international law, the integrity of the borders, the law of the sea, what would be the next, right? So I think we need to, first of all, frame the...
Yeah. So yeah, donate if you want to help the trans community. All the money is going towards cutting my dick off.
The Western world are now, with respect for the democracy, respect for international law, we need to keep that safe. And in that frame, we can talk partnership all we want, but we will not give away an inch of our country. And that's also rooted in the most important thing we have in this world, international law and territorial integrity.
I thought it was outrageous when President Trump was suggesting or hinting that he may take Greenland by military force, and pretty much everyone agreed that that was outrageous, to the extent he has stopped using that language now, and clearly that is not something that the Americans are planning to do. I think it would be a disastrous move if they did. But let me posit to you another scenario. You, I know, are somebody who does not want to have...
Oh, this is fucking boring. I'm about to fast forward the shit out of this.
Now that we don't have penguin.
Big Coffee does things their way, but San Francisco Bay Coffee is different. We work hands-on with our farmers to ensure sustainability and boost productivity so they can grow the finest beans. And that's the way we do things. San Francisco Bay Coffee.
The no hidden fee Cash App card.
Penguins, if they are coming to see those, but we have the land of the opportunity. I really think that we have huge potential in many areas.
Well, I wish you all the very best, and I'm going to try and find time to come and have some of your fish, because I'm told it is absolutely world class. So, Prime Minister, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Chris.
Well, listening to that, ready to discuss much more, is the host of The Crucible, Andrew Wilson, the New York Post correspondent, Lydia Moynihan, the former Republican congressman and host of The Social Contract, Joe Walsh, and the Liberal commentator, Cameron Haskey. Welcome to all of you. Joe Walsh, welcome back to Uncensored. Kind of fascinating conversation there with a Prime Minister I doubt anybody had heard of before about a month ago. And then suddenly he's propelled onto the global stage. He's a smart, eloquent guy. But interesting that for him, the red line, not an inch of sovereignty shall pass to the United States. What did you make of it?
First off, Pierce, good to be back with you. Secondly, Pierce, great interview. Well done. How refreshing and cool is that guy? And he's 34 years old. Man, that's the first time I've heard him speak extensively. Look, I love...
Hello. Hope you're doing well, Naeem.
That, and that was my biggest takeaway was back off on sovereignty. This is our country. Back off respectfully. He was utmost, respect to Donald Trump, even though Donald Trump deserves zero respect from him with the way that Trump and Vance have treated him and his people. But Pierce, that was the biggest takeaway, is that, look, the United States, you've got as much military access on Greenland as you want. This isn't about military access with Trump. It's never been. He can't say that because that prime minister's too nice and decent. But this is all about Trump wanting to put his name on something and Trump financially wanting to get Greenland's natural resources. What a great young man, a great young leader.
Andrew Wilson, we're going to come much later in the show to your conversation with Joe Rogan about my shattered hip and the life expectancy that the pair of you decided to come up with, which basically...
Wait a second, I thought I was nice. I thought I was super nice.
You were actually.
Damn, bro.
No, you were. Although you were the first to suggest alcohol.
Technically... yeah. I think I had another YouTube channel before this. Well, before I made this YouTube channel, yeah, I think I did have another one back in like 2008 or some shit. But I didn't start posting on my YouTube channel until like maybe like 2019 or 2022 or something like that.
Played a part in my downfall. And I can catch it.
So I started off just posting some videos, and then I more recently started live streaming and stuff. And I like live streaming. I like how interactive it is and stuff. There's a lot of haters, but a lot of cool people too.
Categorically assure you, zero alcohol had passed my lips, which actually...
Well, I mean, I would have played a part in my downfall. that's what I thought. It's like,
well, actually,
it would have been that...
And I'm gonna keep working on my YouTube and try and make more good videos and stuff. Even though I don't have like I'm not like a great editor or anything like that, but just kind of doing it from the learning as I go.
Actually, a doctor friend of mine said, had I been intoxicated, I would have had a much easier fall. I'd have basically rolled. And I wouldn't have caused such damage. Anyway, we're going to come to that later because it made me laugh. Welcome back to Uncensored. It was a great interview, actually, with you and Joe. I really enjoyed that. This issue of Greenland, I mean, let's extrapolate this really to a wider worldview that Trump seemed to have, which is, I can take what I want. The United States is so big, so powerful. We have the world's biggest military. If I want Greenland, I'm going to help myself. Do you, as an American, do you feel comfortable about that kind of mindset?
Yeah, maybe I should shave my head and go full tape.
Particularly relating to a country that is under the sovereignty of a NATO ally, which not just any old NATO ally. The Danes actually lost, I think, the third is highest number of people in the Afghanistan war, for example, when they came and fought with Americans against the Taliban per capita. I think it was the highest per capita actually with the Danes. So. The Americans owe the Danes a lot, and yet here you've got the president saying, yeah, I may just come and take you. What did you feel about that?
Well, I don't know exactly what the strategic reason actually is. And that's the big problem, right? Is we do know that there's a lot of natural resources there. And we know that Trump wants to buy it. We know that the United States wants to stay a global hegemon, and however it needs to stay a global hegemon, it's going to do whatever that means, right? Whether it's Trump or not Trump. In this particular case, I do think
Would you rather
Trump
fight Mike
thought he
Tyson or
could
Andrew
probably
Tate
buy this outright,
and Ed
but
Sheeran?
they're not selling. As far as the memes and things like that, I don't think that's a huge deal.
You mean Mike Tyson in his prime or Mike Tyson now? Because I think I would go for that Mike Tyson fight, since he will pull his punches and it'll be a big payday. So yeah, that's the one.
All. As far as I'm concerned, this is still something which is going on under negotiation, and I think he's going to try to buy it. I think he's going to try to buy it for the strategic interest of the United States, and good luck to him. You know, maybe it'll be the 51st state.
Well, you know, Cameron Kathy, welcome to Uncensored. You know, I've been saying from the start of this debate about Greenland, there are only 60,000 of them. You're not talking about millions of people. And I don't know how many of them would categorize themselves as wealthy.
What's up, Smelly Willie? Happy birthday. How old are you turning? Bro, Mike Tyson doesn't look like you. I think you should take Andrew Tate. No, I think Mike Tyson's a nicer guy. And I think we would be bros. And we would smoke. We would smoke together after the fight. Andrew Tate, well, Andrew Tate's kind of the way, Andrew Tate, he's kind of crafty, because he purposely lost his last fight and then bet on himself to lose so they could win a bunch of money. So that's pretty crafty. 62, my brother, and still going, so I'm putting 8 points. Nice, bro. Happy birthday. Hope you enjoy all them good strains. I'm taking a tolerance break right now. My throat was hurting this morning. It feels a little better now, so maybe I'll smoke soon. What's up? Not much, just watching the news.
Or whatever. I'm not sure exactly of the economic breakdown of Greenland. But if they were, for example, as I posited to the Prime Minister, to vote in a referendum to be independent, which, notwithstanding what he said, most people think is more likely to happen, that they would vote to go independent. If the Americans made an offer, significant financial offer, to enrich the lives of each Greenlander, I can see that potentially being an option they may take.
Well, in Europe, they have healthcare, and I think that's what a lot of people want. In the United States, you can get sick and just go broke, and that's something that Donald Trump is not willing to do anything about. But the Greenland situation boils down to the fact that the global order that was established after World War II to prevent something like that from happening again is something that President Trump is more than happy to not only disrupt, but
Hotaru Tomoyo. Okay, I got it.
chip away at if it serves the interest of whoever he is working for. So the Greenland situation, in my opinion, is Trump just happily playing risk because he likes throwing power.
Great. How much are they costing?
And tough talk around. But ultimately, it's something that is going to be very damaging to the United States, to our reputation, which has already taken some hits in the past year. And being a global...
Are you selling slaves or sex slaves or both? Or is it a different kind of program?
Global power is not just about what type of force and threats of violence you can throw around. It's not about what type of money you can throw around. It's about partnerships and building trust with other leaders. And in the past year, Donald Trump has given places like the EU a lot of reason to believe that we are not a stable partner. And that's why I think a lot of those countries are going to be turning to China, and it is going to backfire for generations.
Not turn into China.
Yeah, I mean,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think
you can look at what they're doing financially.
Whatever you think they're worth.
No, not if you look at what they're doing financially.
Oh, I see. You dream about black miracles, dark wonders. Huh. I don't know. I think they're worth a nickel. Can I get one for a nickel?
Financially, no, the United States is still the hegemon, is going to stay the hegemon. The EU is not going to do anything about it. There's mayors of cities here, I believe in the United States have more than 60,000 people. You guys have TDS and everything Trump does is evil and awful and this and that, but the truth is that this is a hegemon. It is the global hegemon, and if we want to leverage our nation in order to acquire more land in our strategic interests, we're going to do that, and the EU is not going to do anything about it. And that's the truth.
Okay. All right. Let me bring in Lydia. Welcome to Uncensored, Lydia. Good to have you on. Do you agree with that? I mean, that a lot of people feel that talking that way about a country owned by a NATO ally is at best disrespectful, and at worst the actions of a bully, right? Somebody that says, you know what, if we want it, we're going to take it, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I am the Mashiach.
Well, if you take a
I too am the Mashiach. Maybe we can Mashiach together.
line out of Billie Eilish's book, no one is illegal on stolen land. So I think we have every right to it, according to her logic. Look, I don't think we should use military force. I don't think that's going to be happening. But look, people have wanted Greenland.
I'm Danny. My birthday's on the 21st. I turned 35. I'm in Portland, Oregon. I'm chilling. Taking a smoke tolerance break. Drinking some tea. Watching the news. Chatting with the people.
In the U.S., since William
Now tell me more about these humans you're selling.
Seward, back in the 1800s, when he purchased Alaska, he also wanted to get Greenland. Truman, once again, tried to get Greenland. And the history of the U.S. is purchasing land. The Louisiana Purchase. Alaska, the Virgin Islands, about 100 years ago, we purchased from the Danes as well. So I think it's very reasonable that Trump wants to expand his footprint, and if this is the kind of thing that he can get done, we know he loves deal making, I think more power to him. And it is an important strategic asset. Of course, it's very close to the Arctic, to China, to Russia. It's an important place to launch potentially missiles. The cool climate makes it perfect for data centers that can cool naturally. There are those rare earth minerals that right now we don't.
Okay. I hope that's good for them and you alike.
Have in the U.S. So I think it would be great if we can.
Are you from Japan, or is your name just Hotaru? Wait, Hot Aruto. I was saying it wrong.
Cobble together some kind of deal that everyone is happy with. More power to him.
Hotaruto.
Okay, let's move on to all the big stuff in the news.
I like Japan. I heard there's like 7 million empty homes or something over there. The island. Oh, okay. Is that near the island where they have all those cats? Tennozu. That's cool. Tokyo Bay. So not too far from Tokyo. That's what's up.
So the Epstein scandal. So many things pouring out of this massive drop of stuff that came in the last few days.
Yeah, I thought about moving to Japan just because they have that thing where it's like if you move into the rural countryside, you could get a house or whatever. That sounds interesting to me.
Interestingly to me, because I'm in
What's up,
London
Arthur?
at the moment, the consequences of this dump have been dramatic in the UK. Right, we are currently engulfed by what I would say with some confidence is the biggest royal scandal in my lifetime and the biggest political scandal in my lifetime, both happening simultaneously as a direct consequence of the former Prince Andrew, now Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, and Lord Mandelson, who I suspect will soon not be a lord and may well be propping up a prison cell, who was the UK ambassador to Washington. These guys are toppling like dominoes, but what's interesting is...
Wait, what? Ginger people are adopted? Well, my dad's German, my mom's Irish and Scottish, so I might have been adopted, but don't seem that way.
We're not seeing Americans toppling like dominoes, even though there's a plethora of big name Americans in there. What's going on here? Why is it that America, for some reason, is not exacting accountability in the same immediate, dramatic way that we're doing, say, in the UK?
And Pierce, kudos to you over there, because yes, you are beginning to aggressively hold the rich and the powerful, the elites, accountable for their relationships with the pedophile, the head of the pedophilia ring, Jeffrey Epstein. We're not doing that here. Republican, Democrat, independent business leaders, political leaders, there are a bunch.
Pedophilia ring. Like what? What ring?
Rich and powerful, elite people, men in these files, and we're not going near them. I think the president of the United States right now is doing everything he can to protect them. I think he's using the Justice Department to protect powerful people. Again, Republican and Democrat across the board. We're not holding them accountable. And Pierce, I'll leave you with this. Look, the current president of the United States is mentioned in these files.
What kind of smokes do you smoke?
And thousands of times. There are allegations, just allegations, Pierce. There are.
I'm trying my best not to smoke. I want to do my best to take a little break.
Allegations in these files that Donald Trump raped underage girls and threatened to kill them.
But let me stop you there. Joe,
let's stop it.
Here's the problem.
Stop him.
Yeah, but Joe, here's the problem. Those have already been looked at, instantly dismissed as a stuff of fantasy. The problem, if you're Donald Trump, is that absolutely anyone could call in with any outrageous allegation and he gets locked and then appears in these files. I think we've got to be a bit more grown up about how we approach it. Nobody thinks Donald Trump raped children, right? I mean, you don't think that. I don't think that. And it's already been dismissed by the investigators as the stuff of just a nefarious caller wanting to do damage to him. However, I would caveat that by saying, I don't think it's enough that there are still millions of files that are not being released.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think it's enough. And I've always felt, because I've talked to David Boies, who was Virginia Giuffre's lawyer, and is one of the top criminal lawyers in American modern history. He said he'd never seen anything which pinned Trump to any criminality with Epstein. Yes, he had a long friendship with him. Yes, that was obviously very embarrassing. Yes, he should be more transparent about it, I think, rather than trying to shut it down all the time. But no one's produced any evidence, actual evidence, that suggests criminality with Trump. However,
Pierce, the only point I'm making is Donald Trump is one of a very rich, powerful person who will probably never.
Marlboro Red? I was just interested because I don't know what kind of cigarettes they sell in Japan, if it's American brands or if it's only Japanese brands or what.
Be held accountable. I mean, Bill Clinton, Republican, Democrat, business leaders across the board. My fear is none of these guys will be held accountable for what they did.
Apparently the most expensive cigarettes in the world are sold in the United Kingdom. I don't know, they're just like premium cigarettes. I don't know what's so great about them. Bro, you look like JT Music. Okay, I'll look him up.
Okay, let me bring Andrew in on that, because a really interesting development is that, having said they wouldn't testify to the House about this, the inquiry, Bill and Hillary Clinton have now done a U-turn and are going to testify, which is fascinating on its own. Bill will appear for a deposition on 27th February. Hillary will appear the day before. It'll be the first time a former US president has testified in a congressional panel since Gerald Ford in 1983. So really quite an historic moment it's going to be, and it'll be huge televised ratings, I'm sure. What's even more interesting to me is not their U-turn, but Donald Trump's reaction.
Yeah, I look like a lot of people, honestly.
Let's take a look.
Today we heard that the Clintons set deposition dates to testify before the House Oversight Committee. Any reaction to that really is
I think it's a shame, to be honest. I always liked him. Her, yeah. She's a very capable woman. She was better in debating than some of the other people, I will tell you that. She was smarter.
I mean, I've never heard Donald Trump talk about Hillary Clinton like that. What's going on?
Well, I mean, what do you want? If he's making fun of her, you're upset. If he's not making fun of her, they're upset, right? It's like, what do you want?
Well, I'm not upset. I'm not upset by any of it. I'm just saying, he's gone from lock her up to suddenly it's all a great shame when she's facing an inquiry that might actually lead to potentially locking her up.
Yeah, I don't think that that's what's going on at all. I think that the Clintons want to go in and they want to clear their name, right? They've been mentioned. You have this kind of weight around Bill's neck. It's been well known that Clinton himself is a philanderer, right? But that doesn't mean that he is a chomo. And this is one of the reasons I think they're rushing in there. Same thing with Elon Musk. It's going to be the same thing. He was mentioned in the Epstein files. I think he's going to want to clear his name as well. What we don't have right now is evidences of wrongdoing, and that's what we got to find, right? We got to make sure that there's actual evidence of wrongdoing before we have guys come on panels like this and start talking about how everyone's a child molester. It's like, look, I want to see some evidence of that. Does that mean that we should release the rest of the files? I think we should release the rest of the files. I don't think anybody's opposed to that. That's something I would push for.
Donald Trump and the Justice Department are pretty opposed to that, it seems. I mean,
Yeah,
Trump
it
has
does
kind
seem-
of
look,
switched around between.
It was not
Portland, Oregon.
it's not just Trump's Justice Department. If Joe Biden could release these as well, if Trump was really in them and the Biden administration had any knowledge that Trump was diddling kids, it would have been the most irresponsible thing on planet Earth to not have released that. So why didn't they? Well, they didn't because there's no evidence that he did. No, it's because there's no
they didn't release
evidence
them
that he
because. I'm happy to tell you why they didn't release them. Joe Biden had absolutely no desire to challenge the global elite at all. I'm sure plenty of Joe Biden's donors and friends are completely incriminated in the Epstein files. And ultimately, whether or not there was evidence of Donald Trump committing any sort of illegal actions in the Epstein files, Joe Biden was not going to disappoint the American elite, the many powers that are in these files, and also the Mossad, which is one of the main characters of the files. So no, I don't think Joe Biden was releasing
or MI6 or yeah, sure, or MI6 or any of the other intelligence.
That's cool. Who'd you end up seeing? I checked recently for some concerts near me, and I didn't. It's been a while since I've been to a concert. Sounds kind of fun though.
Groups which were working within the Epstein framework, but that's not really the point. The point that I'm after here is if Democrats said or thought in any way, shape, or form that Trump actually was diddling kids, underage kids, they would have, by any means necessary, released that to have stopped Trump. They didn't because there is no evidence of that happening. That's why.
Well, the Democrats are trying to release it right now. It's the Republicans, except for Thomas Massey, that are trying to stop it.
Well,
Yes,
okay,
we
so let me
understand
bring in,
that-
let me bring in Lydia.
Go ahead.
Lydia, do you think all the files should be released, as Andrew says, and as I absolutely believe? Now, I just think if you don't, forever we're going to be dealing with, well, what's in the ones we haven't seen?
When patients are not caring for their lips, they become very painful. For keeping lips healthy, I recommend
Release it all. I'm thinking about going to Dante's to see I Hate God and Crow. Oh, that sounds cool. That's what's up. When is that?
Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert, doing it all for you.
I live like really close to Dante's. I've never been there though.
So you can keep chasing this feeling. Now this is Taxes. Into a TurboTax.
That could be real. You know what I mean? I have a ceiling fan right there, and like twice I've had spiders like rappel down onto me. And it was like this close before I fucking noticed it and got away. Watch an episode of Steptoe and stuff. Okay, sure. I'll put that in the queue.
Of course. No, I mean, I kind of feel like right now we have the worst of all possible worlds. Obviously, the goal of releasing the files should be transparency and justice. And right now,
Yeah, I mean, my cat's slacking on the spider catching.
we have a little bit more transparency. We have some tawdry details about Bill Gates allegedly getting an STD. But when we look at what was released, 43 victims' names that should have been redacted were not redacted. There were unredacted images of nude photos of young children. I mean, it was kind of a disaster. And so my concern is if we do release more, we're going to see more victims harmed. And
Yeah, that's crazy. Like at my mom's house, she had an apartment way back in the day, and like her place was dirty, and she had all types of bugs in there. So I would see like black widow spiders, and then yeah, like sometimes I would see like centipedes or like weird shit like that, like creepy bugs that aren't supposed to be inside. What's up, Starfire? What's up, Ozma?
to your point earlier, Piers, I mean, it's kind of insane that we're reading all of this really damning info about Bill Gates and Reid Hoffman, and yet they all seem to be skating by scot-free, and yet it's like Peter Attia, a longevity guru who's getting kicked off the board of a protein bar company. So I feel like right now, though, we have some transparency, a lot more questions. I mean, you look at some of the names that were redacted. There's this one email to Epstein that says, oh, your little girl was really naughty last night, and that name was redacted. I'd like to see who that person was.
I agree.
We've
Who are
also
these people
seen
whose
in
names
the
we
fallout,
haven't been told?
conspiracy theories are just out of control, right? You have people saying, oh,
Yeah, I agree.
Trump raped a 12-year-old, which is not true. The Wayfair conspiracy is back. So I kind of think we have more confusion, less transparency, and it's, you know, really bad for the victims at this point.
Let me bring Joe in. I mean, Joe,
Yeah, pretty much same. I'm glad I don't have bed bugs. Those are the worst. Spiders are tolerable, I guess, but not if they're repellent. Like, I let the spider live in my apartment, but once they start rappelling down upon me, they gotta fucking die.
Joe, before you respond, I mean, I talked about this yesterday, but, you know, Elon Musk, for example, has been, you know, pounding away on his X account about how he's led the charge for transparency, he's better than all the others, blah, 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 blah. And yet when you compare and contrast his denials and saying, I always rejected all invitations to go to the island, to go to the parties and so on, and you compare them to the emails that have actually been in the files,
Bro, this is so weird. I just found a picture of some guy that might look like me, or might be related to me. It's fucking weird. I might be related to this guy with like 1% DNA. And he kind of looks like me if I was fat. It's weird. I don't know if I should connect with that guy. It's probably not my family.
real time, which show Elon Musk very keen.
Yeah, it's kind of sus. I don't know if I should be connecting with people. They're only 1% DNA.
To get on the island and go to the wildest parties, it turned out. So when people do that, when we can see with our own eyes that they're not being completely honest about their own position. I'm not saying for a moment Elon Musk did anything wrong or criminal or anything, but I do know what he's trying to spin about what he said in those emails is not accurate, which then raises a number of other questions.
Yeah, and Pierce, it goes to the other point you raised a few minutes ago, Trump's odd reaction, kind of complimenting Bill and Hillary Clinton. I think it just goes to this bipartisan protection racket. They're all going to try to protect each other. That's why. And again, just one final point, Pierce, the context here. Remember, before Trump got elected, Trump promised to release these files if he became president. J.D. Vance said the same thing. I come from the right. Every right-wing talker promised, if Trump wins, we're going to release them all. This will be the mother of all deep state scandals. So then Trump wins and he says, no, That's the basis for so much of the confusion.
Atlanta. No, I've got no rock for you, man. I'm in Portland, Oregon.
Here.
Yeah.
There is
okay,
confusion,
look,
but don't you think that if there
The normal people here smoke like dabs and weed, but then, you know, there's the street people. God knows what the hell they're smoking these days. 67. I'm more of a 6'9" guy myself.
was something super damning in there about him, he wouldn't have campaigned on that. Obviously, he was
Yeah, I don't
bringing
think
it
it
up.
is
Joe
that-
Biden, Democrats weren't talking
yeah,
about
I
this at
don't
all.
think. Yeah, Lydia, I don't actually think, and I haven't done for a while, particularly since talking to David Boies, because he had no reason to defend Trump, quite the opposite. He said he looked at the files, and there was nothing in there that incriminates Trump. I've never felt that Donald Trump himself has committed any crime in relation to Epstein, but I do think there are a lot of people in the potential criminality firing line who may well be Republican donors or maybe friends of his, business associates, who knows, right? We just don't know. But I do know if you don't put all the documents out, as you said, Lydia, the conspiracy theories will just rage and rage and rage. And this scandal is already massive. I mean, it's hard to think of a bigger...
You too. But maybe Snorlax is my second favorite.
Scandal of its kind that we've seen in our lifetimes. And it's only going to get bigger, I suspect. We don't even know... We haven't even been through probably a tenth of what's in the current dump. Let's just turn to another issue. Andrew, I'll come to you on this. A clip of last night, this is in the Oval Office, I think. It's Donald Trump attacking CNN's Caitlin Collins for not...
That's so dumb. You used to be able to go live on Instagram, but now you can't go live unless you have 1,000 followers. That's pretty fucked. So my old account, I could have gone live, but now I can't go live. And on X, you can't go live anymore unless you pay $11 a month. That's some wild shit, man.
Smiling.
And now that
Can't go live on
nothing came out
Instagram
about me,
or...
other than it was a
Yeah, I'm watching Piers Morgan show.
conspiracy against me, literally, by Epstein and other people. But I think it's time now for the country to maybe get onto something else.
Well, what would you say to people who
Like
feel that about
healthcare or
justice, Mr. President?
something that people care about. Yeah, what did you say?
What would you say to the survivors who feel they haven't gotten
You are the
justice?
worst reporter. No wonder CNN has no ratings because of people like you. You know, she's a
You are
young
the
woman.
worst
I don't
reporter.
think I've ever seen you smile. I've known you for 10 years. I don't think I've ever seen a smile
Well,
on
I'm
your
asking
face.
you about survivors
You know
of
why?
Jeffrey
You know why
Epstein
you're not smiling? Because you know you're not telling the truth. And you're
Didn't
a
realize
very
you were-
dishonest organization. And they
He's on YouTube now. He does a show, Piers Morgan Uncensored. And, yeah, he has interesting guests on sometimes. That's why I was checking it out today.
should be ashamed of you.
These are survivors of a sexual abuser.
No, Andrew, full disclosure, I know Caitlin a bit. I used to do the 9 o'clock slot at CNN. She does that now. I think she's a great journalist, a great correspondent.
Does she
very
smile?
fair. She smiles all the
Does
time,
she-
Oh my
but she
God,
doesn't
you're
smile
being
when she's
such
talking.
a baby,
She
dude.
doesn't.
You could just say
she
it's bad
doesn't
when
smile
the
when.
president's
Hang on,
yelling
hang on.
at her.
Cameron,
Trigger
I'll come
bud.
to you,
Oh
Cameron.
no,
I'll come to you.
I cracked a joke. Oh, cracked a joke.
Yeah, but here's my point. Andrew, here's my point. Donald Trump has taken in the last sort of year or so to being pretty offensive to female correspondents in particular. Should he do that, or should he be a little bit more respectful?
I'm so sick of all the
Trump's whole style
social
is
media,
fake.
man. Fucking Instagram, you can't go live anymore unless you have 1,000 followers. X, you can't go live unless you pay them. TikTok, you can go live, but you'll pretty much get, you know, I'm suspended right now because I was listening to some show that they considered hate speech.
Is being very combative with media.
Fuck is wrong with the world, man? W in the chat, yo.
It's one of the things that really worked with him as a strategy in dealing with them.
What's up, A. Marie? Hate.
It's one of the most endearing parts of Trump when it comes to the American public's perception of him.
So sick of the fucking internet, man.
is the fact that he's extremely combative with the media. And let's not pretend that it's not a big game on both sides. Both sides are playing it. They both enjoy it. It's like a game of cat and mouse, right? Can I get Trump's goat? Oh, I did. Trump kind of had a little go off on me. Now it's big news, right? It's part of the combative nature that he has with the media. It's probably one of the guy's most endearing qualities, honestly. Everybody's always freaking out about it. But that's the thing that the kids call aura, right? The whole idea that he can have these engagements with these media personalities and it goes viral and people are laughing and they're having a good time. I mean, it's part of this guy's personality, always has been.
I mean, Lydia, I don't think for a moment Caitlin will lose any sleep over it. She's a tough cookie. I think she'll probably be quite enjoying the attention on it. It just makes her a little bit more famous and probably gets more people tuning in. But as a woman yourself, if you were disparaged in that way by the President of the United States, whoever it was, would you think that's the right way to talk to female correspondents, female journalists, if you're the President?
Journalists?
If I was advising Trump, I would not encourage him to do that. Yeah, you don't want to comment on people's appearances, tell a woman to smile. That's just not what he should be focused on. But I guess I understand the point of a lot of folks in the MAGA base want to see him sort of own the libs and own the media. But I think there's a way of doing that in a way that isn't offensive to
Wait.
a woman.
You don't think it's hilarious?
Smile
You don't
or
think
frown.
you don't think that that's hilarious? Like, it's objectively hilarious when he has these exchanges with media. And media kind of, I've seen them go out of their way to kind of make the exchanges happen even because they know it's going to be all over the news. It's news itself when he has these exchanges with these various women. And I mean, are you really pretending that it's not hilarious? It is hilarious, right?
Well, Andrew, let's just acknowledge.
I don't think it's objective. I think it's subjectively hilarious. And obviously, you feel that way. There's a lot of people who feel that way. If I was advising Trump, I would not encourage him.
Goosebumps, I haven't read.
I mean, you're smiling right now because you know it's funny.
Hell yeah. I almost bought some vintage Goosebumps collection on eBay, but didn't go for it. Maybe in the future. I'd like to get the whole collection. Love the books. Love the old show, but unfortunately they ruined the new Goosebumps, in my opinion. I used to read the hell out of them. Yeah. It's probably my favorite childhood book.
But whatever. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah, but I do think it's important. Okay, I'll come to Joe, but I do think it's important to remember that as Caitlin pointed out, it got a bit drowned out, but she was asking him a question about the Epstein survivors. That is not something you would normally crack a smile about as you did it. I don't dispute that Trump's style is popular with people, and sometimes he makes me laugh. I do find it a little bit ugly, I have to be honest, Joe, the way he's gone after some of these female correspondents. And knowing Caitlin, I think she's one of the fairer ones anyway. I never see bias with her. It's all like when Jim Acosta used to, literally game those Oval Office pressers and try and make a name for himself.
Yeah, there are a lot of people out there who want to be the story. She's not one of them.
Well, we saw it with Don. We actually saw it with Don Lemon as a classic example, which I was going to come to, because Don Lemon actually always happened by going so hardball after Don Lemon. Joe is turned him into a martyr, and it's revived his whole career. He's now on Jimmy Kimmel. He's now doing all these big interviews. He's getting big numbers for his YouTube show and so on. I mean, the only winner out of all that is Don Lemon.
Well, they made a new movie. It might have been 2019, and it had Jack Black in it. I didn't like it. And then I think they made a new show, and I remember vaguely watching it. Yeah. The new show had some famous actor in it, but it wasn't a very good show, and they changed the theme song, which is the main thing. They just completely ruined the theme song.
Completely, Pierce. Absolutely, completely. He's taken Don Lemon to another level in the stratosphere because he went after him on a case that I think will be dropped. Before you get to Lemon, and I know people want to talk about Lemon, again, this point needs to be made. I agree with Andrew. I know there are a lot of people who love that Trump does this, and I know there are a lot of people who find it funny. but it is also ugly because he has a particular long-standing habit of attacking the physical appearances of female reporters. There ain't nothing funny about that. Miss Piggy, hey, Miss Piggy from a couple months ago, he said to a female reporter, "Shut up, Miss Piggy." Come on, that's not funny.
Yeah.
You tackle the Mountain View Monster for a third time this week. At RW Knudsen, we crush only the very best ingredients so you can.
Didn't ask about that. I love cranberry juice. Serve me up some, woman. Damn, I need to go get some cranberry juice now. Commercials sold me. What's up, Brandon? Just watching the news. What you up to?
Was funny. It was.
But Andrew, if somebody, okay, but if somebody said that about, if someone called Melania Miss Piggy, for example, Trump would go nuts, right? So, you know, let's be clear. It wouldn't be. He wouldn't find it funny.
And if he did go nuts about that, that would also be funny. The thing is like, I think we're like missing the forest through the trees here, right? Yes, it was funny. It was hilarious. It went uber viral. Everybody was talking about it, and a lot of people were laughing about it because it was really funny. It's very unorthodox the way he engages with people, and it's very different. And because of that, people pay close attention to it because they think it's hilarious. And it's like I'm tired of pretending that it's not. I talk to leftists all the time. They get so upset about this stuff, and it's like, come on. People, even I know a lot of them must laugh when they watch. Like Pierce, there's some of those exchanges you gotta laugh at, don't you?
Of course I do. Listen, I spoke to Trump 3-4 days ago. He told me for chat. He made me laugh out loud 3 or 4 times. The guy, I actually was very interesting. It was a comedian last week. I can't remember who it was. There was a comedian who said that he speaks to a lot of comedians on the circuit, on the big pro circuit, and they all agree that whatever you think of his politics, Trump is a natural, brilliant comedian. They all agree. They think his comedic timing, his spontaneity, his ability to make the crowd laugh is like nothing they've seen in any politician. And I think
Pierce, did you think it was funny yesterday? Pierce, did you think what he said about
because I know Kate. Was it funny? And I know I texted with her afterwards because I know she wouldn't care. I just thought she'll just think it's funny in terms of she doesn't care.
Did you think when he called the female reporter Miss Piggy, Pierce, you didn't think that?
Yes,
no, I didn't like
that was hilarious.
I didn't like that. I didn't think that was funny.
I did. Everyone else did.
When they're professional journalists trying to do their job, I just think it crosses it crosses a line of just being a gentleman, right? And I don't think you should. If you're a man, why would you want to be that guy?
You gotta call everyone Miss Piggy.
The same media groups. These same media groups attack him overwhelmingly over his appearance. They attack Melania over her appearance. They attack him all day and all night. These representatives of these media companies. And Trump's like, Andrew, give him a little smack back. I'm like, oh my God, how could he? It's just ridiculous.
I think that's a very fair point. I was about to make it to Cameron, which is if you look at the coverage of the Melania movie, some of the reviews have been savagely personal about her, including how she looked, even though, to me, whatever you think of the Trumps, you can love them or hate them, Melania, to me, as a fashion icon, is up there with Jackie Kennedy. I mean, she's just the most stylish First Lady since Jackie Kennedy. You can't argue that fact to me. But the Trump derangement syndrome, and I think I may say this with respect, I think you might be a bit of a sufferer of this, means that all bets are off when it comes to the Trumps, right? You can say what you like about them. And therefore, as Andrew said, when the response is to feign outrage when it comes back a bit, it's like, well, okay, you've been calling him a Nazi for years. Everyone's been hammering Melania in these reviews. You know, what's the difference?
Well, Caitlin Collins didn't just release a $75 million documentary about herself. She was asking Donald Trump to comment on the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's child sex trafficking rape ring. So the thought that an appropriate response to somebody asking about the systematic rape and allegedly murder of women being orchestrated by Jeffrey Epstein and the global elite, the thought that the response to that is, why don't you smile a little, is a bit more incriminating than even Donald Trump going on to say that the Epstein scam was a hoax, which he did say. I mean, he went from campaigning on releasing the Epstein files to saying it's a hoax, to saying that he's completely vindicated. It's extremely inconsistent. The one thing that has remained consistent with Donald Trump since the 1990s and before is sexism.
Cameron, let me stop you there, because you, as you know, you were on a CNN panel last week, and you had to apologize after saying this.
Play the clip.
I'm appreciative that the president is being transparent about this. I would love it if he was more transparent about the human sex trafficking network that he was a part of, but you can't win them all.
Cameron's grateful that the president is being transparent about the Nobel Peace Prize and his desires for green. Scott, what do you think about that?
You gonna let that sit? Are we gonna claim here on CNN that the president is part of a global sex trafficking ring, or?
Well,
I mean,
we're going to talk about the Epstein files. Scott, I will do the fact checking as we go along here. Repeat what you said about the global sex trafficking ring.
That Donald Trump was provably very involved with it.
Okay, we'll get to that later. I mean, Donald Trump has never been charged with any crimes in relation to Jeffrey Epstein.
Now, you issued an apology the next day on X. You said you had made the claim by accident, and that Donald Trump was obviously not involved with a giant international child sex trafficking ring. And yet, when you were given the chance to correct your accidental slur against him, which was a hoax, I mean, what you said was completely untrue, you didn't. You doubled down. You said it again. So it wasn't an accident. You genuinely believed it, and I would argue, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I would argue that is an example where your visceral hatred of Trump means in your head all bets are off. You don't have to treat him like you would somebody else in public life. You can accuse him of being part of a